Hey guys, this is Jim. Well, it was another big day. I really just put on one trade and got stopped out on it early, and I didn't trade anymore. I actually was looking at some other things, but I didn't. I didn't trade the bond futures. Uh, Heck of a day, but I traded the 10-year here early and got a stop out on it, and then I just left it and we can see what happened. We only had one EMA cross, and it was way back here yesterday evening, around 8:30ish, and then all today. The EMA never crossed back, so you could have shorted. We had these little up signals on the PPO, which those turned out to be shorting opportunities. Um, But I got stopped out, and of course, right when I got stopped out, the thing turned. But I just let it go right in here, and I didn't chase it. And by the time this thing finished, it was down to this pivot, and then it chopped a pretty good chunk of the day until the 30-year auction happened, and it took off again. So I just didn't have any good entries other than up here, which it wasn't as good as it should have been. I kind of chased it a little bit and ended up getting stopped out, and then just watching it go because I couldn't really jump in here. There were a couple of spots, but this chart doesn't do it justice. Anyway, that's what happened to me today. I wished I could have taken more advantage of the downtrend. Um, One thing to note, at least on this 10-year chart, look at right here on this pivot, chops around this pivot for 4 or 5 hours, and then takes back off. The 30-year, let's see if we can pull up the 30-year. Yeah, 30-year was very similar as far as the pivot. This is a signal from yesterday evening at 8, was that 8:40. So comes down, chops around this pivot a whole bunch of the evening into the early morning. Still chops around, getting multiple PPO signals, but remember you just have one EMA signal, and the EMA is the stronger of the two. The PPO helps you get in these things, but the EMA is the signal that really will help set the trend. So, you could have got in on any of these pullbacks. I didn't even trade the ZB today. Wished I had, but I didn't. But look at this from this pivot area here. It runs right down and then chops basically from 8 o'clock till the bond auction. So it chopped all morning right on this pivot. You can't enter there. Here, right here would have been an entry, but it's tough once it gets going. It's easy to look at it after the fact, but when it's running like that, it's tough to pull the trigger. It is for me anyway. But just look at these pivot points, because this would have been, if you could have got a good feel and got in on this trend, you could have run it, use this pivot point for your profit target, or at least take some of it. If there's not an EMA change, hold it. Easy to say, especially when a PPO fires opposite of what you're holding, but still with no EMA change. Look how powerful that is. But went to this pivot, chopped, bond auction comes out, wasn't good, runs right down to this pivot. Still only one EMA signal. So if you could have got in it, hold it till there's an EMA change. Anyway, that's what I got for today. We've almost, I say almost, a week ago today we were at 148 roughly. We ran way up 154-ish. Now we're back to 151. We're gonna retrace that whole. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see where it was. Had a couple of big days this week. And here we go. Here we go. That's 149-ish at 7.2. So we're gonna retrace it all, or we've taken a big chunk of it back. That's for sure, especially after today. But that's what I had. Use that EMA to help you determine the trend, and more importantly, stay in it. If it starts running, you don't get an EMA cross, stay with it. Thanks a lot.